So now we get to Anna Kasparian and Pearl. I believe her last name is Davis. Had a debate. I don't know where this was. It seems like this weird thing that's run by like some guy. I don't know if that's true. That might totally be not true, but it's like a strange little venue. Anna Kasparian, obviously very experienced. She has a bunch of different talk shows she's done. I don't listen to her. I'm not a fan of her work, but I can't deny that she's a skilled debater. She's not like bad at debating. I don't, and I agree with a fair number of her opinions. I just find her to be a little bit of a grifter. She does seem like a shapeshifter. And I don't, like, she had that whole thing where she was like belligerent about people calling people giving birth, because like she refuses to understand like just like what these terms mean. And she's one of those people who pretends that that's like some sort of slight against women to acknowledge that non-women can give birth. Like, it's just like, so she has some sort of like block in her brain about certain things. And I'll get to another point about something related to that. But this was quite a performance where she just came, because like Pearl Davis, on the other hand, is like not a good debater, like at all. I've never seen her have a good performance in any debate. She just stays completely in her echo chamber of like men's rights activists, and she's like playing a game that's literally like 10 years old at this point. She was not prepared for this. She just has like talking points that are easily debunked, and they talk about a lot of different things. I also hate the layout of this, but I guess it's a big auditorium, so they need to have them on screen, but it's like 1 second behind, so it's really confusing. Let's just watch a random parts to kind of jump in.
Heard in jail because of the Me Too movement. You guys pushed believing all rape victims, and now we have rape.
Amber Heard had to pay out a massive settlement.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, this is the part where Pearl is saying she thinks Amber Heard should be in prison. And Anna Kasparian's like, you think people should be in prison for defamation? Because that's what the case was about. It was a free speech issue, which I didn't hear Anna make this point. Hopefully she did in a part I didn't listen to. But Amber Heard had every right to share her experience. She didn't even name Johnny Depp in the original article. And so I think it's a free speech issue. I would think she has every right to talk about her experience and name Johnny Depp. But they ruled it was defamation, I guess. So yeah, it doesn't really make sense to say she should be in prison. But Pearl just kind of lives in like a little bit of a... She's not super in touch with like how things work. So it's mostly like ideological, theoretical type of stuff.
Yeah, but why isn't she in jail?
You want her in jail?
Yes.
Well,
she ruined his
the penalties
life.
For defamation.
She ruined his life? Did you really follow the case? Anyways, Anna just takes this more like practical approach of like, why would you want someone in prison for defamation?
Are what the court's decision is, right? You want people to go to prison for defamation?
He had to go to 2 different countries to clear his name.
Okay, that's one way to put it. He lost the case in the UK, so he chose to sue this person again for her free speech.
Why isn't she in jail? He lost millions of dollars.
Whoa, he lost millions of dollars? Won't someone think of Johnny Depp's bank account?
Clear, you think the penalty for defamation is prison time?
I think the penalty for a false accusation is that the woman should get the same time that he would have gotten if he was found guilty.
That's just a crazy thing to say. Like that's a wild, like sort of like fairy tale way that you're saying the law should work. Like, I feel like that's something someone said to her and she just repeated, because like that's just, how could you think that? Like your prison time should be whatever, like you should get the exact. Also, like, she didn't falsely accuse him. I just want to see what the AI says. Like, I'm just curious, if you Google, the jury ruled that Heard's op-ed references to sexual violence and domestic abuse were false and defamed Depp with actual malice. Okay, well, I'm sure if you look into it, it's very much technicalities. I mean, there was a lot of abuse. I mean, she obviously isn't the perfect victim, and let's say she even abused him back. It doesn't change the fact that she's allowed to speak about sexual violence and domestic abuse. This just seems insane. It's technicalities. Like she wasn't trying to convict Johnny Depp for sexual violence. So I don't know why the standard should be that like she's only allowed to say it if it's like proven by a court. It seems like she should be allowed to use those words in a more informal sense in an op-ed. But still, it's just a crazy thing to be like, you should get the prison time of whatever you were. Because, like, what about good faith accusations? Like, Amber Heard was, like, good faith talking about her experience. And then a court ruled that it wasn't, like, completely accurate to the technical meaning of those terms. So why should there be a punishment for that? Unless you're trying to chill free speech. We'll jump around. I mean, Anna, does a good job because it's the easiest person in the world to debate. But, like, she also kind of does a bad job at a few points. She gets, like, aggravated about Pearl mentioning, like, women getting, like, Botox. And Anna just goes, well, maybe you should get Botox. And I was like, okay, Anna, that doesn't help your case. Like, that's kind of a weird thing to say in a debate.
Prison sentences. Women get a third of the time for the same crime. Where are the feminists fighting for equality on that issue? There has been rampant discrimination against better qualified men in hiring across multiple industries. Men pay more child support, and child support orders are not enforced at the
Men pay more child support is such a crazy take. The amount of unpaid labor women do for childcare is just so, like, overwhelming. But yeah, if you fast forward, these are maybe the clips you saw. Like, Pearl kind of loses her ability to communicate at some point, and we have a lot of awkward silences.
Again, I mean, you're just proving my point because we talk about male issues, you keep bringing it back to the women.
I think it's incredibly bizarre for anyone who is not a man to make, like, men's issues their thing. I mean, like, I appreciate the support, but yeah, I don't know. Like, if a guy made his entire thing, like, women's rights, if I made my whole thing, like, I obviously support women's rights and so on, but, like, if I made my whole thing about, like, I support women's rights, you would be like, maybe you're not the most informed person to do that. Like, you can learn, obviously Pearl can learn about men's rights, and she's not really trying to learn about it in a good faith way. She's coming from a particular position where she's trying to confirm her biases. Okay, she's just from a super rich family. Okay. Pearl Davis's husband? What? Okay, this is a weird article by People that it has Davis spelled in an insane way, and I don't believe she is married. And then it has her name in lowercase. What? And there's, like, all these typos. Like, what is this article? And this article says it's updated today. Who is the man behind the iconic This is a fucking AI article. I mean, really? Streeter? Who is Streeter? Why is every podcast episode now us going through AI articles? Yeah, I did see she had a relationship with some guy named that. Pearl Davis was an American singer, songwriter, and actress who was popular in the 1920s and 1930s. But behind every successful woman, there's often, while specific details about their initial, Davis with her friends, who is Pearl Davis's boyfriend. Wow, this is a great article. I'm going to go ahead and not keep reading that. Sorry. Let's just find some very worthwhile parts of this to look at.
Do you think that men should have the right to opt out of fatherhood, since women have the right to opt out of motherhood?
No.
Why? I mean, the question is, like, what are the outcomes of that, right, Pearl? What are the outcomes? Is it children growing up more in poverty and with less resources? No, I think you have to be responsible for your children. Yeah. I mean, I don't think the man gets a say. I think Pearl is talking about abortion, terminating pregnancies. I don't think a man should get a say in that. You don't get a say in it because it's not your body. You just don't get a say in what happens. You do get a say in opting out of fatherhood, and that's when you pay child support. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs, but it's like, yeah, you don't have to be there, I guess. I mean, it's a crime if you don't pay child support, though, and that should be a crime because it leads to harm.
I put a condom on.
Right. Men do have control.
You don't want to have children, put a condom on.
Or require him to wear a condom. That's equal.
No, Pearl, the thing with boundaries is like you can't, like, it's not a woman's responsibility for a man to have a condom on because she doesn't physically control that. It's the man's responsibility. Like, obviously a woman can say you need to wear a condom, but it's the man's literal control.
Yeah.
That choice is equally irresponsible.
He's the one with the Johnson. He gets to decide what he does with it.
I think I'm more of a feminist than you.
Sure. Great.
Yeah, so at first I thought Anna was just sort of doing a debate thing where she's like, I don't care if you consider that. But then when we get to the later section, things kind of, after seeing Anna just like, okay, wait, I got to show you the awkwardness before we get to that, actually.
But I'm married and you're not, so.
Oh my God.
Next.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, there's a lot of really weird, sad stuff that comes up when you listen to Pearl. It does get into really personal stuff. And this debate does too, where it's like, it seems like Pearl doesn't believe in like love, honestly.
I
Put a condom on.
So,
Yes, yeah.
okay, and they should be on the front lines as infantrymen.
If they are physically capable of doing it, yes.
Okay, so no.
So you want to show me how?
Do you know how many men die every year? Just to...
what?
There are men that die every year to get you crab.
How many women die every year during childbirth?
Not many.
Oh, yeah, this is like a key point where it gets really awkward. Like, I don't know why Pearl said that. Like, if I'm Pearl and I'm debating and someone says, how many women die during childbirth? Like, my argument shouldn't rest on that number being low or insignificant, right?
This country has the highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. So a lot of women do die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth, yes.
I mean, Anna came prepared. So this is what happens. Like, I'm just playing it. This is what happens. This is an open debate segment. Pearl's supposed to respond. Pearl's supposed to respond. I don't know what's going on.
This is painful, man.
Just with the flames going in the background and the guy. I feel like the moderator is like the CEO of the event, but I'm completely making that up.
Do you have any other questions for me?
Not right now.
All right.
It's just an open debate segment, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Should I move on? Like, what are we doing now?
Can I ask a couple questions?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, let's just jump in here. So, why
I believe this is what I wanted to show next.
don't we do this? I'll ask you one, and then I'll ask you one, and we'll kind of go back and forth.
So this, I was surprised at this. I'm going to be honest, because Anna was just dominating the entire debate, just crushing, right? And so I was surprised when this took a strange turn right here.
I kind of half jokingly said at the beginning, like that Pearl had mentioned, I think you actually said it here too, that you believe you may be more of a feminist. Do you consider yourself to be a feminist, and how would you define that?
I don't consider myself to be a feminist, mainly because it's a loaded word, and there are certain outcomes from certain waves of feminism that I don't agree with.
To me, that's just like a crazy answer. I mean, like, you could be like, it's a label, and at the end of the day, I don't care whether people use that label about me. I believe in, women's rights to a significant degree. Like, Anna does seem to agree with like a lot of like women's rights. So like the fact that she like expressly rejects the term feminist is crazy. It's a loaded term. Yeah, like anything with ist is a loaded term. Like, I just really can't help seeing like this moment. I actually left a comment on the video. I really was like, oh, she's trying to get Pearl's audience. Like, she's coming into this and being like, I support women, but I'm not one of those like I'm not a liberal, which she is a liberal. I mean, she's a lib. She's like a neo-lib with like some radical progressive views that are just a little bit incoherent in my mind, and that's why I don't trust her, because she seems to like, and she just, there's an anger sometimes to how she communicates that I don't trust, honestly. I don't find her to be a likable person. But like just openly rejecting the term feminist, like I don't know. It just seems so bizarre to do when you came here like promoting feminism and women's rights. You just don't like the term because you don't want audiences to not watch you because they hate feminism.
Particularly minimizing the importance of men in society. I do think that there is, especially the third wave of feminism that's done that.
Really, Anna? You want to point out people who minimize the role of men in society? You think that's what feminism's about? Saying, like, get rid of men? Like, is that what you think what feminism's about? She's literally doing the, like, Jordan Peterson, like, what are we going to do without men? Except, like, from her own standpoint. Like, really? Anna? Like, that's really what you think? I don't believe her. And the way she's looking down, I don't believe her. I think she's not being forthright.
I personally really value masculine men, and I don't appreciate feminists speaking on behalf of all women in regard.
Right. Of course, the famous feminist text called "Masculine Men Are Bad." Right. Of course, feminism is about denigrating masculinity. Thanks, Anna. That's so true. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you stupid? Like, what are you talking about? How is that not bad faith? Like, to be like, oh, feminists denigrate masculinity. Feminists don't appreciate masculinity. What are you talking about? Is that where you're coming from mentally?
Regard to what women prefer. I think the Me Too movement started off as a legitimate grievance with women who were legitimately abused, and it devolved into something laughable and ridiculous, especially when, someone like Aziz Ansari gets accused of being like some sort of sexual predator when he clearly wasn't.
Oh, is that clear? Because actually, I don't know if that is clear, and I do think he actually apologized for coercing a woman into sexual activity, and I think he's considered a sex pest, not a sexual predator. And I don't think a movement like Me Too can be only based around the worst offenses. Like, do you not understand, like, when you fight for the rights of a population, there's a variety of different rights. Like, when we fight for the rights of, like, people of color in the United States, it's not just the right for them to not be enslaved. Right, Anna? It's also the right for them to get, like, equal employment opportunities, to not be pushed away from rental opportunities, loans, like, all these other things that are maybe not as serious as slavery. Just like sexual coercion may not be as serious as rape. But, like, it's still part of the movement to call out how men don't understand their impact on women, or neglect to take stock of it, neglect to understand how women get harmed by these interactions. How dare you, honestly, come out and be like, oh, that was clearly nothing wrong with that. Really? Go read the articles, Ian.
So I just don't like how loaded that word is.
Oh, I don't like how loaded the word is, and I don't want to learn what people mean when they say it.
What I actually genuinely want is equality among the sexes. I'm not looking for women to have an upper hand over men at all.
Neither are feminists. Okay, so it's good to know, like, both people can lose a debate. You know what I mean? Both people can lose a debate. This is a